record now.
All right.
Good to have you here, Adam.
Glad to be here. Appreciate it.
So, we're a show all about the 90s, but we like to talk about what you're doing now as well, kind of reminisce a bit and all of
Oh,
that.
cool.
Do
Right
I
on.
have, if it's okay with you, just
Mhm.
for the video that we shoot with the Zoom,
Okay.
can we use that for promoting the episode as well as our bonus material?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just make me look good. That's all. I might stumble over a couple words or something, It's all good though.
Don't worry, don't worry. Oh, I love your sunglasses. Those are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long day, trust me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, whereabouts are
For
you?
good reasons. For good reasons.
You're located in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm in the Midwest. Yep.
Oh, okay, sweet. I've been to Chicago once and I absolutely loved it. Can't wait to go back.
Awesome. Yeah, hopefully that won't be too long from now, right? You're in what part of
No.
Canada? Are you in Canada, right?
I am. I'm in Western Canada.
Okay, Western.
I'm in the city of Edmonton. So
Edmonton. I've been there. I think once or twice, maybe. Okay.
nice.
Right on.
Okay, so originally at some point here, when I was reading through your bio and whatnot, you for a while were in Color Me Bad, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Now, how did that gig come into being?
Um, I mean, I always lead that with just God himself or herself, whoever it is. But I mean, I was just grinding for myself for about 10 years and booking my own shows in Chicago and wherever I could get on festivals and stuff. And then one random day, Mark Calderon called me, hit me up on Twitter first, and I think he might have reached out to me on another social site, and then eventually called me, and the rest was history. I think Brian, was searching on YouTube for me and found my video and, saw me, close tight knit with my dad. And I think that's something that resonated with the guys, and
Hmm.
they needed somebody that was loyal and somebody that, they could school, and the rest is history, man.
Well, that's fantastic. We had Mark
Thank
on
you.
the show back on, well, January, February when I first started the
Okay.
show.
Yeah.
And such a great guy.
He
Very nice.
knows how to make his rounds for sure. That's one thing about Mark. He does for sure.
Are you still like obviously not during the COVID shutdown,
Yeah.
but are you
Yeah.
still going to be performing with the guys in the future?
I mean, I hope so. We'll see what happens. A lot of things have changed since, my, me departing from the guys for whatever reasons, them having to work some internal things out.
Yeah.
And then the COVID happened. So I still talk to Mark every now and then. I still keep contact with Brian Abrams. I know since then they have kind of separated.
Hmm.
So we'll see what happens. But, good music will never die. And I pray for the best for them and their legacy and everything, and anything that I can do to keep that going, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree. And I also hope that they are able to work out their differences and hope
Appreciate it.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you guys are all awesome. So, yeah, I hope
Yeah.
everything works out for the best. Um,
Absolutely.
when you enter a well established band like
Uh-huh.
that, do you get much creative input?
No, hell no. That's a
Let's be
genius
real.
question. Okay, yeah. No, you don't. I mean, over time, you just have to. Well, everybody is different, and anybody can, reinvent situations that's fit for them. But for me, my goal was just to seal my lips until it was time for me to speak up, and that's what I did, and that's why I was able to maintain for 5+ years going into now to still being cool with the guys.
Hmm.
So that's it. I was there to support them.
Yeah.
It was something that they did from the 90s, and probably even they were together even back in high school. So we're talking, even before the 90s, you know what I'm saying?
It's a
So,
long time.
so for a young breed to try to come in and implement, that's not something that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be of total support to them and show them that they could rely on me and trust. And I tried my best. And I think many times I passed at that. And, sometimes, I could have done better.
Well, you have a great attitude about everything, and that's nice. Like, I
Thank you.
mean, some people just take advantage of situations, and you're not one of those people. So good
Yeah, I
on
mean,
you.
it wasn't always easy. I'll be honest. I mean, a lot of parties. Not my first year so much, but once the I Love the '90s tour started going, and there was after parties, and there was opportunities to get paid,
Mm.
so you can easily, make a couple extra dollars, and then the drinks start flowing, and then the attention, and So that's where I noticed a big challenge of me just trying to balance things out. Looking back at it, in the midst of it, I felt like I was doing everything I needed to do to network. But looking back at it, grown up from that situation, I probably could have curved some of those situations, but ultimately, I wanted to network and squeeze every bit of the juice out of the lemon that I could.
As you should, and
Yeah.
still stay focused and not get too wrapped up in the party.
And that's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's a balance, healthy balance. So
That'd be hard. I'd be so tempted to get really wrapped up in the party. But the thing is like I've been in situations before where I do drink and I enjoy to party that way. But I mean,
yeah, cool.
where there's been like cocaine out everywhere, and I've never tried it because I'm afraid I'll like it. You know what I mean? Like I'm
That's
afraid.
look, that's Canada for you, right? You all know how to party out there, trust me.
Mm, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses.
That's right. That's right. And you seem like you're keeping it really level, which is amazing. What were you
Thank
doing
you.
in the 90s? First of all, what do you mind me asking? Were you a little guy? Were you still a little guy?
Yeah. I was like 5 or 6, you know what I mean?
So you were playing.
I probably was jamming a Color Me Bad or some Bobby Brown or something like that at that point.
I am so
So
glad you brought up Bobby Brown because
yeah.
that song, I think it's called Tender Roni.
Oh, great song.
What is a Roni? I've always wanted to know, what does it mean?
Well, I mean, it's just like they say macaroni, you know what I'm saying? Or they use that, what is that, like a pimpology term, you know what I'm saying? Macaroni, so tenderoni,
Ah.
use your imagination.
It's gotta be something sexy. I know.
Something in below the waist, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking,
Oh,
possibly.
yeah, yeah, totally. And knowing Bobby Brown, it's gonna be sensual, something like that.
Listen. When I performed actually with Color Me Bad, it was one of the last shows I did with them, which was monumental for me. Just no shade on nobody, but just a young buck,
Mm.
in this music game and being a singer and pulling up off this 4 years of touring or whatever and seeing Bobby Brown like just smoke a cigarette when you arrive. It's just like, really? Okay. And then, there's John B too, it's like, how do these guys smoke cigarettes and then get on stage, perform the show? But the whole point of me bringing it up was, man, Bobby Brown must have stuck his tongue out his mouth so many times. It was so hilarious. Like, yeah, he's a wild one for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like what a legend. The whole
Truly,
the,
truly a legend.
Now, just
Truly.
recently, you found yourself backstage with Stevie Wonder, who's like your biggest musical influence from reading your
Absolutely.
bio.
Yeah.
Now,
Appreciate that.
now it says you seized the opportunity by asking advice on songwriting and transforming that meeting into an in-depth conversation. Tell us about that day.
Wow. Whew. So I have to take a minute to go back. So actually, I was with Color Me Bad. We were in the dressing room. We were doing the lip sync battle with LL Cool J and Chrissy Teigen.
Oh,
John
nice.
Legend was in the house. It was a big moment for me, just in LA and going into the film studios. And then just randomly after sound check, somebody came over and was like, Stevie Wonder wants to meet you. Obviously, it wasn't me personally, it was the brand.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, wow, okay. So we went in, we just took pictures, and all of a sudden the people start headed towards the door. And I was like, in my mind, just like, wait a second, like, this can't be it. So I just stopped in my tracks and I said, Stevie, you mind giving me any advice you can on songwriting? And he just immediately just grabbed my hand. Like he knew it automatically, like where I was based on probably the distance between sound or whatever.
Yep.
But he just grabbed my hand and walked me to the couch. We sat down and I turned on my tape recorder. I asked his permission first. And then he spoke he did what he does best. And that's, teach,
Mm.
whether it's through his music or his, his wisdom. But yeah, I soaked up as much of that situation as I could. So
Oh, you're so lucky. That's a wonderful situation to have, and
I
have
definitely felt lucky that day. Yeah.
him imparting that wisdom on you.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
I'm sure he's used to being in the position that he is. That people always want to know his secret to success. So he's probably
Well,
happy. to just
He's
share.
so far past success at this point. It's like, you know, right? I mean, that's the thing
Yeah.
about the old schools. And you know what? It's not just old school. It's just people that are confident, I guess, or um, I might not have the right word, but people that are secure with what they're doing, they don't mind sharing. You know,
Mm.
it's the people that feel like they're, they stole something or they don't want you to get up on them that don't share. It may not even be true knowledge if you can't share it. So he was more than willing to just tell me, just to speak from the heart and be true to yourself. So
Well, good. God bless him. That's
I know
wonderful.
that's right.
Mhm. Tell me about Chicago. Like, is that where you were born and raised?
I was actually born in California.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been living in Chicago since I was like 3 years old. So this is a lovely. I love my city. We catch good raps and bad raps, but lately it's been a little bit of negative. But the people that know the city know, in any city you go to, there's places you can go and places you shouldn't. But other than that,
Every
man,
city. Every
yeah,
city.
exactly. So I love Chicago. The weather is crazy right now. It's 72 today. Tomorrow it'll probably be 34. So
It's like 32 here. So,
yeah, well, that's why I love Canada. It's like very similar in terms of the weather. Is you know,
Mm. Yeah. And the Windy City thing is very true. I think it's just like that chill coming off the lake. But I remember
absolutely.
I was staying in River North. So I was,
That's the place to be.
yeah. So I was
Yeah.
like walking down by where like the Rainforest Cafe is, and,
Wow.
I'm in that area. And I remember but it was January when I went. Yeah. Yeah. It
Still a
was
little cold. Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
But what about that city? What kind of venues did you participate in early in your career? Like, did you start singing, dancing? What were you doing when in your youth when you wanted to become an entertainer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, originally, just off the jump, I enrolled right into the university that was nearest to me, Chicago State University, as a music major. Originally, I was a business administration major. The next day, I was like, "What am I doing?" So I switched, and then I start going to a producer on the north side, and we still work together, but we put out a full album, and that was like the other side of my career that I needed versus the classical training and the theory. Um, but in the midst of it, I mean, I hit a lot of legendary venues in Chicago, the Wild Hare and the Cubby Bear and the Underground. Um, Chicago just teaches you how to be tough. To make it a short conversation, I'm sure New York and a lot of bigger cities are that way, but they really just train you that what if nobody likes you, And then and what I learned just on tour is like everybody likes you. Every city we went to, it was totally different than Chicago. Just people's energy was very inviting, and then being that guy on the road coming back home, it's still like, what's your name? It's like,
Yeah,
don't worry about it. It's all right. It's fine. I'm good.
it's learning the ropes and like people, what's this guy got? Kind of thing, kind of mentality, right?
It's tough love in
Mm.
Chi-Town. It's tough love. So, but it helps. It helps when you travel because no, I haven't been anywhere that's as tough as Chicago or New York in terms of just like, what were you saying again? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
I went to a couple blues clubs there. I went to
there you go.
Kingston
Kingston
Mines.
Mines.
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh, wow, that was cool. And I couldn't believe it.
Classic
It's like
place.
going to like 4:30 in the morning. I was like, this is
There you go.
amazing.
It doesn't close, right? It won't close for you. Party all night.
Yeah. And the owner there, or the manager, I think he's the owner, or his
Uh-huh.
dad was. He was outside. This was back when I was a smoker and we were having a cigarette. And
Yeah.
then he's like, "Oh yeah, you're from Edmonton, eh?" Oh, he starts talking about the Edmonton Oilers, starts talking about hockey and
Yeah.
Blackhawks and everything. And I'm
He's
like,
got you now.
he
Yeah.
knows more about hockey than this Canadian. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly. Making you look bad, yo. Seriously.
Fantastic. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
everyone I talked to, I just had a great time meeting there. So
That's what's up. That's
can't
what's
wait
up.
to go
We
back.
we hope to have you back soon. Seriously.
Now, when you're doing the I Love the 90s tour, What were you kind of lessons did you learn from all the artists that you were touring with from the 90s? What kind of relationships did you build during that time?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is balance.
Mm,
Excuse me. Balancing the stage performance, which was only 15 minutes,
mhm,
versus the rest of the day, you know what I'm saying? Minus your 15 minutes. So, you can't eat too much, can't drink too much, can't sleep too much,
mm,
and then, always just being thankful for the situation. Every crowd is different. They expect you to get out on stage and do your best. That was never a question for me. I was always excited to be there.
yeah.
But when you party to 3 a.m., you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you drink a couple more glasses of tea than you would have to. So balance was key. And then just being kind and nice to everybody, and just respecting the moment. It took care of itself, for the most part. So I built a lot of relationships. COVID has, I haven't, bothered a lot of people lately, but I assume they're looking forward to my newest projects and seeing what I have going on. So everybody's hustling, everybody's grinding.
I mean, everyone's got all this time to be creative right now. So obviously, while you're in COVID, you're probably making a lot of music, I'm going to imagine.
Absolutely, absolutely working out and eating healthy and spending time with family. But thankful that I was able to get out on the road so that I can enjoy this time for what it truly is. Because I'm an anxious person, and was always very eager to get out on the road and sharpen my skills. So
Mm.
I can be cool and with hopes that this will turn around for 2021. Our fingers are crossed. I've heard of a couple hazmat concerts that are popping off. We'll see how that goes, huh?
What's a hazmat concert? Tell me more.
Look, just well, I guess these are prototypes. We'll see, but I may
Uh-huh.
be spilling the beans. But yeah, I mean, where they give out hazmat suits when you enter or whatever, and everybody in the concert is wearing a suit.
That could be kind of fun.
That's what I'm thinking. Like that could be crazy.
I'm picturing it almost like if everyone had like one of those bubbles, like they were in a bubble.
Right, right.
That would be fun too, but that would be really difficult for like going to the washroom or drinking or
Yeah,
anything.
I'm thinking how you gonna get the drink inside the bubble, and it might make the air thinner in there. You know what I'm saying? But
There's
yeah,
room for error there, but the hazmat suit's pretty sweet idea.
could be right. Could turn it up a little bit. You feel a little extra protection to go crazy. So
Mm.
the concert world is gonna figure something out. We have been shunned, not spoken about, not written in the stimulus packages or nothing. So I'm
Yeah,
sure the concerts and the promoters, the venues are eager to try some things, but it's a dangerous situation in terms of investments.
yeah, and when you mentioned about the entertainers and all the people that go into making a show happen, like the promoters, the riggers, the lighting, the crew, everybody is out of work, and there isn't really a stimulus package for them.
Yeah.
Um, I'm imagining it's going to be harder in America with dealing with that because I don't know. How are they going to get everyone back to work? It has to happen.
I mean, there's people working. I don't know. I'm not enough into that world to give you a solid opinion on that.
Hmm.
Um, but and look, in the city of Chicago, there's a lot of concerts happening right now. So today I was actually looking at a real big concert that's coming up.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this is why we're gonna be still quarantining in 2021, because you all just can't wait. You can't, you know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean, if we
we'll
could have
see.
somehow just shut it all down for 3 weeks, this thing would have probably been over.
Well, look at what are you Canadians are still shut down. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, we're not.
Okay,
Where I am,
okay, good.
because every province is different.
Okay,
So different level. Province is like each state, right? So,
okay, cool.
we and where I live, the numbers are starting to get a little high. So we might have to start going back into stage two or stage one, because yeah, it's
Listen,
winter and it's just like,
listen, any practical business never wants to go backwards.
mm-mm.
So, just looking at the leadership and seeing, but it's hard to control a mass of people and telling them to stay in. It's like we're back in high school, you know. So
You can't control anybody. You can't be like, because
yeah,
everyone's like, I know my rights. And then, and yeah, your rights are great and all. That's good. But let's take care of each other and end this fucking thing. Sorry about
right.
my language, but it's frustrating.
Listen, this is your show. You know what I'm saying?
It's frustrating. Anyways, well,
It is.
to a
It is.
happier subject,
Facts.
do you collect any vinyl or cassettes or CDs, any like old school type of music
Yeah.
stuff,
No, I don't. I don't.
memorabilia?
You
Yeah.
know, my father we used to go, you know, into the CD stores and buy up CDs, and he still has a very good collection. Um, but that was the last of that. You know, CDs get scratched, they get scratched up, and you know,
Yeah.
so no, I don't. You know, I got a Michael Jackson Thriller vinyl,
Nice.
but other than that, no, not too many others.
Those collectibles. That's a good one to have.
That's it. You know,
That's a very good one to have. But yeah,
for sure.
vinyl's hot right now. So
Yeah,
it'd be fun to get into it, but it's like 30 bucks an album. you
yeah,
know. Um,
absolutely.
what can the youth of today learn from the music of the 90s?
Oh my goodness.
Especially the young creative musicians that are putting stuff out now.
Well, that takes my first answer away. You said the young creative musicians. What could they learn from the '90s? Hmm. Um. I mean, I guess the quality of the lyrics is one thing.
Hmm.
Um. You know, the rub in the music. You know, I like what the new kids are doing. I like it. Some people would challenge that the musicality isn't there, but the creativity is certainly there. A lot of them come from DJ backgrounds and stuff, so they know beats per minutes and, you know, trends. They follow trends.
Hmm.
Um, I, I think, you know, I heard Little Yachty one time on an interview say he doesn't care about those that came before him because he's creating a brand new sound. Don't quote me verbatim, but
Right.
he was on a show with Rick Rubin. It was like a special on TV. You know, when I heard that line, it's like, who am I to question Little Yachty? But at the end of the day, I was a little taken back by that. It was like, okay, you know, you don't have to learn from those that come before you. So that was something that I just would just like disagree with just off the front. And you know, because he probably was born to some old school music, you know, but
Hmm.
he's in a position, I guess, to be very creative, and he has backers and stuff to push his music out. But you know, listen to the soul, listen to, you know, it probably brought you here. So the love in the music, and you know, that's all I would say. Just is the care. Look at the longevity of the careers back then in the '90s.
Yeah.
I was on the I Love the '90s tour in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19.
Yeah.
That's 5 years of touring. How many tours have you seen to last 5 years consecutively? We didn't take a break off. The only thing that stopped the '90s tour was the COVID. You know,
Hmm.
so that's something to learn. You know what I mean? But you know, they're gonna do what they do, and you know, I like it. But we'll see if it stands the test of time.
It's a wonderful answer. And
Thank you.
it's also like there's something about that era too. When if you were a teenager in that time, where that music still sticks with you to this day.
Yeah,
And you
it
just
does.
have you go to these like I love the '90s
Excuse me.
because of those warm feelings you had from the good times you had listening to those tunes and going to dances with your friends and you
Yeah,
know, you know.
absolutely.
I know we're only one generation, like, but and every
Uh,
generation probably says that about their own decade they grew up in, but
yeah, and that's the question too. Is like, it's enough youth right now to carry on the new music, you know. But I mean, they don't buy the way, you know, the '90s fans did, right? So it's
that's
all
true.
digital and streaming now. So we'll see.
That's
We'll
true.
see.
And I mean, like, I appreciate the little his name Little Yachty. See, I don't
Yeah,
even know his name.
yeah.
I'm sorry. But like I imagine what he's trying to say is that he wants to start something new and establish something, but just not to say it with arrogance. That would be a bad thing to do. To be like, yeah, you know what? You may say that you weren't influenced by anybody, but you were. You had to have listened to something at some point
I mean, that's a great
that
point.
got you into your music.
And that's, I'm just going to rebuttal that point because that's a great point. And the simple fact that just for the sake of our conversation, whatever he has to say back to us is fine. I'll take it. But he was on a special with Rick Rubin, and Rick Rubin was producing his song. So if you're not being inspired by people before you, be careful, because your producer certainly is. Your
Uh-huh.
producer is from those times. He is of those times. So that's the thing with the youth. You know, they're so creative, they're so spunky, they're so forging new paths that they don't want to hear the shit of yesterday, but they don't realize like that's where you came from. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, good on people for wanting to do something new and fresh. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I
it's working
think
for them.
that's the
It's truly
sentiment.
working for them.
And I feel like the art of writing the hook doesn't seem to be as big of a deal as it was in our older music. Um, the like I feel like the chorus is the art of the chorus. The chorus used to be a climactic part in the song,
Mhm, mhm.
and you as a songwriter as well. What makes you go and look at a song you've written and say, "I'm happy with that"?
Ooh, Uh, it has to check mark several different things, and like you said, the hook. That's one of the first things. Um, the storyline. That's the second thing. You know,
Mm,
melodically in the music, it has to support the story as well as tell its own individual story. Um, Breakdowns, you know, the introduction and the ending point. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's a full circus going on, and yeah, you know, I Ear Candy is a big thing. Climactic moments, you know,
Mm.
so it's a lot to it.
Um, where can we find your music that you have out right now? Where can we?
Yeah,
Because I want to put some clips of your songs into the show, and
cool.
yeah, it's like what's for instance, give me some cuts that you'd like to share with everybody.
Yeah, I'll email you personally too. My new single that's dropping on the 29th, actually,
Oh,
the night of the
good.
29th next week. But you can find my music on iTunes under Adam Emil. You can find me on Spotify under Adam Emil. Also, make sure you follow me on TikTok at Adam.Emil, and Instagram, same handle, Adam.Emil. That's ADAM.EMIL. And you can see my links up there. And you know, we're just gonna keep bringing quality music. Hopefully that makes you dance and shake your ass to it. You know, that's
Yeah.
it.
I was gonna say, how would you describe the tunes? But it sounds like it's pretty upbeat.
Yeah, you know, I write all kind of stuff, but the newer stuff that I'm doing, I don't have any time to like, you know, slow woo you. Like that'll come
I like that.
that that'll come after you shake your ass a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm looking forward to being able to slow it down a little bit. But you know, and I mean, we're just in crazy times right now, and I just want to be that guy that, you know, plays something that's fun and just makes you forget about the crap. And you say, who is this new artist or whatever, you know, that's been around, you know, for a couple of years now. So
But I'm glad we got to learn like what you've been through and where you've come from, and
appreciate it.
going into what you're doing now. What goals lie ahead? Let's pretend COVID ends tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna do? What's coming up? What's your current projects in
I mean,
mind?
I'll continue to forge on the digital market the way I'm doing now, just writing songs, releasing, doing videos, doing radio interviews, podcast, whatever, Zoom meetings or whatever, because this is a brand new, you know, that we've been pushed into this area, which I think is very smart and lucrative.
Mm,
But the tour world is something that's very adrenaline pushing. It just makes you feel alive. So would love to get back to that, and then just networking and connecting with, you know, people like yourself and industry people that just want to continue to move forward. But ultimately I just want to reach more and more people with my music, and get to know, you know, people, and, you know, see how we differ and see how we compare.
fantastic. Well, I'm going to be looking forward
Thank
to
you.
sharing your music.
Right
Before
on.
we end things, tell me a few of your favorite artists that came from the '90s, and if you are you still listening to them today? Who are some of your
Oh,
favorites?
absolutely.
Obviously Bobby Brown.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Bobby, I mean, I even go, I may be like on the teeter line of 2000s as well. I get him confused. Like
Oh,
I
that's
would say
fine.
a Ludacris, but I'm sure he was in 2000s, you know. But obviously Boys to Men and New Edition.
Mhm.
Um, I had so many. I mean, Rob Bass is a good friend of mine, and he was even kind of like in the '80s, late '80s, early '90s, and stuff. And
Yeah.
I toured with Salt and Pep. They were from the '90s, and my role models and Coolio. These are my people, so I have to mention them. But Cisco and Drew Hill and so much great music in the '90s. It's,
Oh,
it's
Drew
hard
Hill
to
was
hard
really
to mention.
good. How Deep Is
Yeah.
Your Love is such a good song.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, you like that good soulful, those soulful tunes.
I'm glad I got to see Cisco. I think it was 2008. He was
Yeah.
actually touring with New Kids on the Block.
Oh, that's a good mixture. That's a good mix.
It was a good tour, and it
Yeah,
was really cool to see him.
I was actually able to see their latest tour, the mixtape tour.
Mhm.
Incredible tour. Showman. They really shut it down, and yeah,
Yeah.
they're on a whole nother level. In terms of business mixed with entertainment.
Did you get to see Naughty by Nature on that tour?
Oh, those my boys. Tretch, we booked a couple after parties with Tretch, and I toured with Tretch with the '90s tour with Tretch and Vinny. You know what I mean, and
Yeah.
KG. So yeah, those are my boys for real. Yeah.
I love them. Yeah, Vin Rock was on the show, and
Yeah, I saw that.
he was
Yeah, that's what's
so
up. You interview
he
everybody.
was such a sweetie. Yeah, it was really cool.
He
So,
is. He is. He's the ultimate businessman. Seriously.
oh yeah, he's got
Yeah.
like the clothing line. I want to get one of those naughty kids on the block shirts when they
Sick,
get that done
sick.
up.
Order yours and mine. Seriously, I'm a medium.
Sounds good, Adam. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It's a
Thank
pleasure to
you.
have you here, and I hope
Appreciate
all
it.
the
Pleasure
best.
being here.
Can't wait to hear your stuff. So shoot me an
Looking
email, and
forward to it. Thank you for having me. Shout out to Kick Up Your Heels Entertainment, Rachel and Katrina, for making this interview happen. Thank you so much.
so yeah, they've been awesome. So thank you
Absolutely.
guys. Okay, well, you take care.
You do the same. Thanks again.
Bye.
All right. Bye.